next guest wasn't selling cars. He might be engineering medical equipment or designing medical equipment in his home country of Greece. Let's see, medical equipment or my box? Some forks in the road are indeed the right ones taken, and he's taken the right one. Did you know Mercedes-Benz is rolling out more than 20 new models in 2024, including the electric version of the iconic G-Class, which is coming later this year? Let's hear more from Dimitris, Psillakis, the head of Mercedes-Benz North America, about finding that balance between EVs and ICE and the luxury that is Mercedes. Welcome.
Jason. Hi.
Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning to all of you.
This is your first time to this event.
Yes, not first time to the city, but first time to the event,
Right.
yes.
A little bit of history for those who don't know, and I mentioned it in the opening. Obviously, you and I talked at length. You've lived around the world. You almost didn't go into automotive, if not for a chance encounter in your native country. Tell me a little bit about that.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. I did not start in the automotive world. I started in the medical electronics field, but I switched 32 years back to the automotive business and to Mercedes-Benz back in my home country in Greece. But in 32 years, I spent half of my life in Greece, and the other 16 years, I would say, touring the world, starting with South America, Brazil, moving to South Korea, diagonally opposite, from South Korea to Canada, from Canada to US. So, all right. Quite a tour.
Yes, indeed. What are your, now, having been in the job for enough time to know, what's your impression of the US market from a luxury standpoint?
I would say it's totally different to the markets I have served, and that includes Europe, includes South America, obviously the Northeast Asia, a very mature market, but also it is, per definition, the luxury market of the world. The biggest market and the most, I would say, demanding in a sense, and still growing.
You and I talked right at the onset of COVID. Now when we fast forward to, obviously, a couple of years later, tell me how 2023 went from a market standpoint for you, and maybe overall.
I think the 2023 was a year which was the year where the supply came back. So I wouldn't say we had as much volume as we wanted out of production, but we had much more than in 2021, 2022. So it was a kind of recovery year. It went pretty well for us. We had lots of new model launches, especially on the electric vehicle field. And it was a very good year for the top-end vehicles, for the luxury end of the market.
So the money was there to be spent, and clearly it was. And there was a tremendous amount of demand just post-COVID. I remember some showrooms in parts of the country where that G-Wagon was way over sticker. Things normalized now.
Yes, definitely the market has normalized. The demand is there. We don't see this over sticker price anymore in our products. The G-Class is an iconic product, and the G-Class is still on a very high demand. The US market is the biggest market for G-Classes, and what comes on top this year is the electric G-Class.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What are some unique qualities of an electrified G-Class?
I think starting first from the fact that even the G-Class, an iconic off-roader with 40 plus years of history, is getting electrified. And on top, it's offering similarly good or even better in some sense off-road capabilities that the normal G-Class, take into account that it has 4 electric motors, 1 per each wheel. So it's amazing. I spent a week back. I was up in Graz, where the vehicle is manufactured, and I tested the vehicle. It's incredible performance.
Yeah, how was that? Yeah.
Incredible. First of all, it's quiet. There's no sound coming out.
Right.
So you travel in nature, you're up in the mountains, and you have a vehicle which is absolutely noiseless. And obviously, the electronics are controlling each wheel, so you can go really off-road. You can go in deep water, 90 centimeters of water, without any issue. So,
I drove one of your MyBox just recently, and actually the technology allows for the sound infusion. You can kind of increase a sound level, if you will.
Yes.
It almost sounds like a video game.
Yes, but it's very natural. It's very natural. Not to mention, come back to the G-Class, this famous G-turn, the tongue turn that the car can do. That's amazing. It's fun.
Right. Let's talk about the business of desire, if you will. I know this is what you've kind of termed it internally. The notion of everyone kind of keeping up with the Joneses, and I guess maybe Mercedes-Benz looking to maximize that market gravitation to luxury. Tell me a little bit about that.
We have, the brand Mercedes has 140 years of history, and we've always been developing, producing, and selling vehicles at the top end of the market, luxury vehicles. So, give you an example. Last year, 1/3 of our volume was on the top-end vehicles, so vehicles which were over $90,000 MSRP. So naturally, we play in this end of the segment. This is fueled more and more with new products, more desirable products, whether these are sedans or SUVs or cabriolets, two-seater. So it's part of the DNA of the brand to offer these kind of products, and customers stay loyal to the brand.
And there's some surprising statistics related to this business of desire. 34% of global wealth is held in the United States, right?
Correct.
But only 4% of the population lives here. And this was amazing, 618,000 millennial millionaires are out there. 44% of those, not in New York, but in California. So you have an enormous opportunity. I know that's where you want to play. Can you tell me a little bit about the strategy?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct in saying that the wealth, or a huge chunk of the wealth, is in the US, and it's also a growing wealth. So to grab this part of the market, we need to have, on one hand, the attractive products, the desirable products, which we design and provide. We need to have a dealer network, which is at the right place, offering not only the products which we produce, but offering the right services, loyalizing, keeping our customers happy, right? And the third is having the right marketing. So these are the areas we're developing as a company in the US, together with our dealer network.
Let's stay on that generational shift for a minute. It's been written that millennials will become the richest generation in American history thanks to a transfer of wealth from their fathers or grandfathers. Is there an opportunity there for you? I know it's been written that Mercedes wants to go down segment, but in fact the opposite may be true.
No, I don't think we go down segment, but in the segments we're operating, we try to offer the best products and address exactly these target groups. And yes, the people you mentioned have inherited money, but also we need to be attractive for them. So we need to bring products which are younger, appealing, offering fun, are exciting to them. They offer performance, and it's the high art that we're challenged to deliver.
You have a lot of dealers here in the room. There's been a lot of talk about the Mercedes dealer network and some changes that you're making. Maybe you can, this is your opportunity to outline how you see the dealer network.
We believe at the dealer network. We work together with our dealer network to transform to a brand which is electric in future, but still is offering the best internal combustion engine, plug-in hybrids in the market. So we need to move forwards. We are working with our dealers to build the right infrastructure to address our customers with what they need. And this is a way that we jointly take, but it's a long way. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, we say. So we need stamina and we need a vision to follow.
How are you working with your retailers to fulfill that vision?
I think on one hand, it's about sharing with them what's our vision, what are the ingredients that will realize our vision, and at the same time, making the right shift to electrical and digital. So we believe a lot on the digital marketing. We believe a lot in focusing to the right customers. We just said before about the number of wealthy customers in the US growing, so we need to find them and address them in a focused approach in a way. And this we do together with our dealers, using the right tools.
And there's some innovation in technology that I think you're going to try to work with your dealers on, which involves over-the-air updates.
Right.
And almost a tailoring that experience to the customer. How is that going to be accomplished? What are your goals and benchmarks?
So on one hand, we say that the vehicle is not anymore 4 wheels or 5, including the steering wheel. It's basically a computer on wheels. We are developing our own operating system, which will launch next year with our CLA, which helps really control every function of the vehicle over the air. That gives 2 advantages. First, you have a digital car in your hands. But second, the vehicle has a chance to be updated or to fit to the demands and the necessities of each and every customer. That helps to individualize, that helps to keep the vehicles updated, attractive for the customer. So we work together with our dealers because these are functions which are applicable over the air, but other dealers which are interacting with the customer, convincing them or selling to them these functionalities. So it's a win-win situation for us and for the dealer network. The vehicle is the enabler.
Yeah. How far away are we from accomplishing maybe a true synergy between those 2 things? Is this a multi-year effort?
I would say we're well on track to start next year with that, but obviously there are more developments coming in the next years, and when you look even further ahead with autonomous driving, these are also functions which will be available at the end and can be engaged over the air with the vehicle. So there's a bright future.
This event will be full of, and already has been full of, talk of electric vehicles. And you mentioned hybridization. I know you have a new plug-in variant coming for the GLC. So making those multiple propulsion options available is your priority. But your CEO also said that cost parity is years away. EVs, frankly, are just going to cost more for a long period of time. What do you say to customers? What do you say to dealers about that cost parity that needs to level out, I guess?
I said before, and our chairman said it's the future is electric, but the course to that, it's a long course. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So reaching a high adoption or reaching the flipping point between ICE and electric depends very much on infrastructure, depends very much on bringing the right technology where the vehicle can charge in a short period of time, can have a longer range. We can overcome through that and through the infrastructure the range anxiety and the charging anxiety that our customers have, and this will take some time to educate. Obviously, we're working, and already next year with our new CLA electric and all its derivatives, will reach a point where the vehicle can charge in 15 minutes, where the vehicle can have a range of 400 miles or 400 plus miles. So these are milestones, but we need still time to reach the time of the cost parity between an internal combustion engine and a battery electric. But this is not far away. We're working on that.
Yeah, what is your view? I mean, there's been so much talk, Dimitri, in the last 6 months, 9 months, about consumer acceptance or the lack of consumer acceptance, if you will. Government standards now having changed. What's your view on getting the consumer there? Maybe it's chicken as much as egg, right? Infrastructure as much as product?
I think the encouraging fact is that we see customers which have bought an electric vehicle. And last year in 2023, 15% of our total retail was on electric vehicles, on battery electric vehicles. We see a less than 0.5%. So one customer every 200 going back from an electric vehicle to an internal combustion. So that shows that customers which make the step and move to an electric vehicle, they stay with the electric vehicle. They enjoy the convenience and the advantages of an electric vehicle. So I think the word of mouth is going slowly out. Day after day, we have more charging stations and more networks being built around the country. We as a brand have moved forward, and we say that as of the end of this summer, our vehicles will be able to charge in every public charging station in the country, based on connectors, based on the options we are offering. So slowly, I believe people are getting educated. The word of mouth is going around. Vehicles are getting better, not only attractive in the design, but performing better, and the adoption rate will accelerate.
And I'm guessing you see a lot of regional distinctions based on geographically dense areas?
Absolutely.
Can you tell me about that? Yeah.
Absolutely. Obviously, nowadays, the biggest market is California, right? Already,
right.
1 every 3 vehicles we sell in California is electric, right? But if you go to North Dakota or Montana, obviously this rate drops to
right.
extremely low levels. So the country is diverse, but I would say slowly you see a certain portion of electric vehicles infiltrating the market. Plus, there's always the plug-in hybrid, which is the best of 2 worlds. And there we have 3 models in the market. You mentioned the GLC coming up this summer, so there is the safe option.
And electric also has, you alluded to this earlier, but electric as an experience at the dealership, I know that's one of your goals and mantras, working with your retail network, not only on OTAs or technology updates, but on getting the consumer on board with the experience. Is that correct?
True, and there's a lot of programs. To give an example, our dealers are offering, obviously, courtesy vehicles in the workshops, but there is a good portion of electric vehicles at the CVP program, so the customer has the chance, when he drops his vehicle for service, to pick up for 1-2 days an electric vehicle and experiment. So there is the effort to educate or give the chance to experiment the electric vehicles. And I tell you, there's a lot of positive feedback coming back.
When you come back here, if you come back here for another session a year from now, what will you have wanted to achieve over the next 12 months at the dealer level? And obviously you want more sales, but.
Yeah, I would say yes, obviously better market share, but I would also wish and say that we work together with our dealers to educate our customers. We have regulations which are in place for 2030, 2032, 2035, which are driving us to zero-emission vehicles and to electric vehicles. So it's a target which is joint for us. We need to work together and get there in a smooth way with a good balance. And again, as I said earlier, market to market, city to city, place to place, in offering the right amount of electric vehicles, plug-in hybrids, and ICE.
And you mentioned earlier, marketing is a key tenet on your journey. Obviously, in the US market, we see Mercedes marketing in various areas, including on the roof of a stadium and where your headquarters is. What else will we see from Mercedes from a marketing standpoint?
I would say you would see more on the digital side, so more man-to-man, let's say more focused marketing. Since we have a lot of data through our stores, through our customers, the touch points of our customers, which will help us to focus the right offering, the right marketing information to the right target group. So rather a more focused approach in our marketing.
Final thing, you've now been in the country long enough to appreciate it. I'm guessing you're having a good deal of fun in your role.
Absolutely. A good deal of challenges and a good amount of fun, absolutely.
Well, the challenges are easier than they were a few years ago, I'm sure.
Different challenges, right. Always challenges,
right.
Yes.
Right. Very much appreciated. Dimitris, Psillakis, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot, thank you.
We're going to take a short break now and join back in about 20 minutes. We'll see you back in the room for discussions on AI, connected car buying, and a sit down with Elena Ford as well. So come back in about 20 minutes.
All right. Life is about connection. Having a support system to lean on.